So on this segment, we're going to talk about the latest salvos being fired into streaming wars. Uh, the basic uh, the basic point of this particular segment is to talk about the things that are happening with the different services a lot of us enjoy, things like Netflix and Disney Plus, the eventual Peacock, whenever that decides to emerge and show its tail feathers. Um, this is the streaming wars. So tell me, Eric, my streaming wars segment was actually going to be the Bob Iger announcement and to talk about how it actually reflects and may affect what's going on with Disney Plus, which we've kind of touched on. What do you have actually for this episode's streaming wars?
All right, let's start out with some sort of hard news because so many of these articles are just pure spin. So let's talk about some numbers. This is a Washington Post article. This is dated February 20th, so it's a little bit older. Sorry I didn't catch this earlier because I'm always about trying to find numbers for the streaming wars because they're hard to find. These companies are not transparent about their subscriber numbers. We did a previous segment where I'm excited about what Nielsen is doing because Nielsen is actually starting to track streaming numbers, at least on TV. So if you stream on your TV with a smart TV, or like me, you have a PlayStation 4 and you stream on your TV, Nielsen's starting to track those numbers. And I think that's wonderful because it gives us some real data to see who's doing well, and who's not doing so well. But this is a Washington Post article about the ViacomCBS earnings. The headline is ViacomCBS earnings disappoint in first quarter report following the merger. ViacomCBS revenue down after the merger. Not good news for ViacomCBS. ViacomCBS on Thursday said its earnings fell short of revenue and profit expectations in its first quarterly earnings results since closing its merger. The company's revenue and free cash flow guidance for 2020 was, quote, a bit shocking and lower than Wall Street expected, said Daniel Kurnos, an analyst at Benchmark. ViacomCBS said it expects revenue to improve by mid-single-digit percentages during 2020, or about $29.2 billion if revenue were to rise by 5%. Wall Street analysts expected 2020 revenue to reach $29.74 billion. In other words, Viacom is underperforming. Viacom and CBS completed their merger in December in their third attempt since 2016, aiming to grid against competition in a rapidly consolidating media universe while partnering with and battling the likes of Netflix and Walt Disney. The merger reunited media mogul Summer Redstone's entertainment empire and brought Showtime Networks and CBS News under the same roof as Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, and Paramount. It says ViacomCBS has revealed plans to create a streaming video service built off of its existing CBS All Access service that will offer free, paid, and a premium tier subscription service, which, by the way, that's a great move, in my opinion. I've complained about this with CBS All Access. I do not like paying for ads. So if they have an free ad version, that's a great move, in my opinion, especially if they sync that with the Paramount library. Fourth quarter revenue fell to $6.87 billion from $7.09 billion a year ago in the fourth quarter ended in December of 31st, missing analyst expectations of $7.36 billion, according to IBS data from Raffini TV. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Raffini TV. So the bottom line is that the merger has not gone quite as expected. I think it's reasonable to assume that they would have some problems, especially in the first quarter. But the thing that's telling about this is that I assume most of these analysts factor that into the numbers that they came up with. They knew, this is their job. So they knew that there was going to be hiccups, and so they had an expectation, and so far Viacom CBS isn't making it. I am excited about the news that apparently they are going to add a free tier to CBS All Access. Now, it may not be called CBS All Access. It sounds like they're going to use CBS All Access as the basis for a new Viacom streaming service, if you will, that will include Paramount and CBS. So there's a lot in there.
Well, it's interesting. I'm not surprised that they kind of missed their quarterly kind of financial estimates that everyone had. Obviously, there's going to be some bumps along the road with them merging back together. Also, too, we've heard a lot of reporting and different things about how with Star Trek being in sort of a state of disarray, that has been affecting, for example, like a lot of the collectibles and the merchandise sales, and so in a weird way, it's kind of damaging the brand, I would imagine. So I'm not too surprised at this at all. I am curious to see what's going to happen actually with this, premium paid and ad-supported versions. That sounds kind of good to me, just because I'm not sure how I feel about. Well, it's going to depend upon what CBS All Access has kind of coming down the road. I'm primarily subscribing to it for Picard. I am looking forward to Discovery season 3, just because I'm ready for something different from Picard, at least to some extent. But my wife and I think she enjoys some stuff on CBS All Access that aren't things that we cover on the show. Like, she enjoys watching Survivor. So we'll see what this new service that emerges, this new streaming service, and see how it kind of affects the streaming wars. I think we're beginning to see more and more companies realizing that the subscriber pay wall service is not all it's cracked up to be, and that they need to find a way to get that ad revenue, get that ad money to help bolster what they're doing.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I did want to acknowledge that Orville Nation has joined the chat and said, "Hey guys, hail to you, PJ. You're one of our biggest supporters. It's always fun when you come on the show, and hopefully we'll actually have you on the show at some point. I've been on your YouTube, and I think Dave will shortly be on yours, and hopefully we'll be able to have you on the show at some point."